All right, so we're live on YouTube, and as I've promised everyone, I promise at least 3 people will watch this video. And if 3 people do not watch it, I will watch it 3 times.
That works for me.
So, you know, at least you're guaranteed.
To make it easier on you.
Yeah, that would be simpler. That would be simpler. And I think we're getting better. We started promoting these on Twitter a little better, letting people know exactly what time. So we're getting a few more viewers. We're getting a lot more viewing after they post, like after we finish live streaming, they go on the channel and people will catch them a little bit later. But you were first up to bat this morning, right? It was the first presentation. So tell us a little bit about your talk.
So my talk was on building an inclusive Magento community, looking more at inclusion and how that really helps once diversity is in place.
Okay. So, I mean, diversity, right? I mean, why is diversity such a hot topic in the Magento community right now?
It's a hot topic because there is a shortage of people, I would say. So actually it's interesting, there was a guy from the Drupal world who came to our increasing diversity in tech panel at Imagine, and he actually was saying that compared to most of the tech conferences he goes to, Imagine was actually really diverse, which was a cool compliment, and I'll take it. And I think part of that is because we are so international that it does lead to that, and because it's so tied to retail, you do have like a larger variety of roles in the ecosystem than you would in some tech ecosystems. But the fact of the matter is, like, so we were talking in the talk about how there's like, when we did the IDC study with Magento and our partners, there are like 1,100 jobs employed by solution partners in 2016, and that's projected to be, I think it was like around 36,000 in 2020. And that's just a small sampling. The other data I gave was from Women Who Code about how there's going to be like 1 million unfilled jobs projected by 2020 in computer science specifically. And so really, like, we need more people. We all know, like, it's really hard to employ anyone in the Magento space because it's a matter of like stealing them from someone else at this point. It's hard to find them, and so we need that top of the funnel to be bigger, and the only way we're going to do that is by bringing in people who think differently than us, people who are different from us.
So, I mean, that's a much bigger problem than just Magento, obviously. I mean, that's a problem in the tech space everywhere. So, and it goes back more than just hiring practices. I mean, it goes back to upbringing and, you know, raising your children and making sure that regardless of your background or you know, your ethnicity or your race or whatever, that, you know, technical opportunities and technical options are open to people. So I mean, how do we solve that problem, or what can we do, especially in the Magento community? What things can we do to start making small differences that actually have a larger impact overall on the long term?
Yeah, so some of the things I suggested today were tips on just like individual grassroots inclusion that you can do yourself. Things like when you're standing in a circle with people talking, leave a gap for someone else. It's called the Pac-Minute conference theory. Sonia Reister from our community shared that out a couple days ago from someone else. And things like making sure you say hi to set a quota for yourself. Obviously, extroverts can set a higher quota than introverts because they're a little more happy to do this, but say, I'm not going to leave here until I've met 3 new people, and just start following people who think differently from you. One of the examples that I gave was, have you ever tried to solve a problem that you couldn't solve on your own? And like, how do you solve that? Usually by talking to someone else who thinks a little differently than you, and that's really why it's so important.
So is there, I mean, maybe, is there something we could generate, like maybe some sort of Magento guide to inclusion? Is there something that maybe we could circulate before these conferences that help people understand? Because oftentimes they're not intentionally being exclusive, right? Maybe they're a little introverted themselves. Maybe the customs are a little different. Are there
just excited to see your friends?
Exactly, the people you know, right? You go to these conferences, it's oftentimes the same people, or at least a core group of the same people.
Right.
And so you want to hang with those people. You haven't seen them since the last conference a few months ago or last year or whatever. So it's, I mean, maybe
and sometimes, which you can probably relate to, because your company is all remote, right?
Yes.
So I find too that sometimes at our events, Magento teammates will congregate because we haven't seen each other, because we're all so spread out. And so I have a rule where if there's more than 2 Magento people standing in a circle, I leave. But that's really hard sometimes, because you're like, I really like these people. These are my coworkers. I haven't seen them in forever. So there's things like that that you can do as well. But I think the biggest thing really is that we keep talking about it. So like several people actually have blogged about this already. Sonia, Tom, Karen. I'm probably missing a bunch. I listed a few out earlier. They're talking about it and they're encouraging others to do it. And really, like, that's what we need to do, is get more people involved in being inclusive and spreading the word and reminding people, hey, make space for others, and say hi to someone new. So,
how many? I mean, do you know how many different countries are here at this small event with 200 people?
At this small one, I'm not sure, but we do have a developer here from India who lives in Kenya, so that's pretty far for Texas.
for a small developer-focused event.
We also have someone here from Brazil. I don't know where everyone is from.
I mean, obviously the UK, Scotland.
Yeah, the UK. I think it's mostly Americans, I would say predominantly at this one. But actually a lot of the European events are a little bit more diverse than that, just because Europe's so small and it's easier. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Magento's definitely a global platform, and that's getting more and more so. I mean, you're starting to see a lot more emergence in some of the Asian Pacific markets and things that, you know, maybe weren't as Magento heavy as they were.
Right.
So the U.S., I mean, we were talking with Ben Marks earlier about this subject, and the U.S., especially as far as technically, you know, technical conferences, technical employees, it definitely seems to be a lot less diverse than other countries.
Probably so, yeah. When you show up at the events, it's a little bit more predictable for the most part, yeah.
I mean, any thoughts on maybe why the U.S. is less diverse? Yeah, speaking of Ben Marks, he's hiding in the back there. We have slid over. We go that way and block him out.
To the conversation.
Sorry to interrupt. Hi. Okay. Gotta go. Bye.
See you in Poland.
See you in Poland.
I mean, Ben, I was talking to him earlier, and he's been at 36 different events so far this year or something like that. I mean, it's like one a week. Are you at pretty much everything he's doing as well, or?
No, so what we usually look at is what are events where he needs help because he can't be there. What are events where there's just a lot of community, like very active community there. A lot of our top contributors and things like that, we'll look at that. And then also sometimes it's just looking at like requests as well, of like where people are needing different people and what talks they're looking for and things like that. So we are sometimes at the same events, but not always.
So what does your travel schedule look like so far this year?
So this is my 11th trip this year. I only know that off the top of my head because someone asked me yesterday and I looked it up. Not necessarily my 11th location, but my 11th trip. So I was gone for most of May and June. I would come home for like 24 hours and then head back out during that period. But for the rest of the year, what I know right now is tomorrow I'm going to Poland for Meet Magento Poland. Then a few days after that, I'm going to Meet Magento Belgium. And then Meet Magento Romania in October. And then in November, I'll be at Meet Magento Spain and Mage Titans in Manchester. So
I guess your title is community manager at Magento, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So in that role, what is your job? Like, what is the core focus of your day-to-day activities?
Sure. Well, no 2 days are the same. I can tell you that. Whenever people are like, what's a typical day look like? I laugh. But I am in charge of everything to do with our forums, the Lithium platform. I look for ways that we can help amplify different things in the community. For example, helping with the meetups. One of the things I took on when I joined was talking to meetup organizers and seeing, hey, like, how can we help? Like, what are like the small even things that we can do that will help you help us, because they're out there promoting us of their own accord. And so I've been working on a little bit more with that hopefully will come down the road as well. And then Masters, I built the Magento Masters program from the top up to recognize our top contributors. And there's a lot we do around that you might not necessarily see, where we're looping them into different initiatives or doing regular calls with them on various things where we're looking to get a good sample of community feedback. And since they do represent like 13 different countries and partners and non-partners and developers and non-developers and agencies and extension companies, it's a really good way to get that feedback.
So how are you liking Mage Titan so far?
It's great. Yeah, it's been a really fun event. This is my, second Mage Titans US. Been to 2 Mage Titans Italy and Mage Titans Spain. So I think that makes it my 5th one. I'm doing math properly.
It's 2. I don't know. I didn't sleep last night. You know, we were out kind of late, so I'm not going to do math today. So
I bailed early, being the first talk. I could tell that like my throat was starting to get scratchy from yelling over everyone. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna.
It was. They kept It seemed like every hour the music would go up just a little bit at the after party.
Yeah, and even if you stayed outside, you still found yourself yelling just to like hear each other. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was fun.
So do you like being the first talk in the morning, or you rather just get it out of the way?
I do. It's nice to, yes, get it out of the way, but also it makes it really easy for people to find me if they don't know me. Being able to have that point of recognition at the beginning of the day, then they can find me throughout the day and we can have conversations about different things in the community or whatever it is they're looking to connect with Magento on.
So is there, anything else you want to tell the 3 people that are guaranteed to watch this? Anything else you want to talk about? We've got time. We could give them some pointers on diversity. We could talk about Magento. We can make fun of Jerry over there. We could talk about the fact that I've been almost off the camera the entire interview.
Oh, you should move more on.
Yeah, we probably should, but it's okay. It's fine.
Well, I will say I apologize because I had every intention of bringing the Magenta Capes to this event, and they are sitting in the back seat of my car in LA, which does not help us.
I've got one at the office. And this was the event last year where I created and brought the Magento Capes, but somebody's like, "You're going to take the capes?" I'm like, "We're going to do the live stream. The cape may be a little bit too, one thing at a time, right? Maybe too much."
I was going to bring it. I forgot.
It would have been fun.
I'm sorry. Next time.
That's what you get for giving somebody a cape.
I know. I tried to get it on stage for you.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed in there. I thought I had a chance there.
You know what?
Thought I had a chance.
Top of mind for our person who organizes all of that, Bess, and so she's always actively looking for ways to integrate the capes. So you'll probably see them.
I'm not going to hear about the cape for like 4 years, and then it's just going to pop up on stage at Imagine, right?
Maybe.
Okay.
And you'll be like, I remember those.
I should have put my logo on there too, or something.
For sure. We'll give you credits on Twitter. Don't worry.
That's all I need. A little bit of recognition. Maybe get me 3 followers or something. And we're still trying to get to 100 on the channel.
Your 3 followers on the live stream, right? There you go.
The 3 engaged followers. We have 59 subscribers now. 3 of which, I think we've got 30 views.
You don't have it to 100 yet?
No, I was giving Telesh a hard time. He has like 1,600 followers or something on social. And he was like, "Oh, this is awesome. Everybody go follow this page." 2 people.
You need Guido to tweet it out. He's really good at getting people to do stuff. Yeah.
So that's the guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
He does his psychology tricks on them.
I will definitely hit him up then. Maybe he'll be somewhere so I can interview him, and then he will bring his mass following to my YouTube channel. Right?
Could be.
Because it's, if you make a video and nobody watches it, what's the purpose in making a video?
Well, as long as you had fun in the process.
That's true. And it was a lot of fun until they confiscated the single malt.
Oh, they confiscated it.
Yeah, we got it taken away from us. I have a driver's license, so that was, in the state of Alabama, that's all you need to drink liquor is a driver's license.
Probably because it's an event venue.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a reason, and we're not upset about it.
Give it back to you at least?
They're going to give it back to me, whether they want to or not, but they said they would.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's all that matters.
It's not a big deal. But it did kind of spoil the fun, so now I'm drinking Dr. Pepper's here.
Well, that's what Texans do. It's the Texas way, Dr. Pepper.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is this a Texas thing?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what Dr. Pepper is.
They were just out of Coke. So I'm from Alabama, right next to Georgia.
Okay.
And you drink Coke in Georgia. Coke was actually founded, the founder of Coke was from Columbus, Georgia, which is right on the state line of Alabama. You know, he went to Atlanta, and it really developed from there.
Gotcha.
So you don't mention Pepsi in Georgia, right?
Of course.
So, all right. Well, I appreciate you being on the live stream here. We're going to try to grab somebody else here shortly and have them on. Maybe do 1 or 2 more of these before the after party. You can come jump in the. We're going to have the backdrop and the red carpet and the lights, and then we're going to live stream and just act silly during the after party. So we'll have to have you on for that as well.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.